Sideline of ball. Late winner's doing it. They're gonna take. He's gonna bring down Burning. Alone with a double kill. Dropping fast. Final points there. He's still alive. Wait, second slide. He's got one side. He's got a second. He's taking it. They're all died on three. They're all dead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here live with the Summit 2 by G2A.com. I'm Gods, and we have got China playoffs launching today. I'm excited. We've got the real deal. It's been a while since we had some China games. We had a bit of a break since the group stage ended, and with some scheduling and other tournaments that the teams had to commit to. But we're here next 2 days. Well, today and tomorrow, we've got the first few rounds of the playoffs. We've got the winner bracket round 1, loser bracket round 1, and the winner bracket finals. But then, I believe in about 4 or 5 days' time, we're going to have the final day of the Chinese playoffs, which is when we get to see which team out of Vici Gaming, Newbie, CDEC, and LGD will be attending the LAN finals here at our house, at our studio in Los Angeles, California. So we're going to find out who it's going to be. Starting things off today is LGD Gaming up against CDEC Gaming, no longer a part of the LGD organization. Of once they were a part of the LGD organization, but here they are. On their own, they've ventured off. They've also added a new coach, which is normally not something worth bringing up or noting, but this just so happens to be the coach that led Newbie to a TI4 championship. So they've added Mikasa, also known as SYDM, a very, very well-renowned coach in the Chinese scene, of course, leading Newbie to great success at TI4, get championship there, and also before that with the Tongfu guys, back when they won like the Dota 2 Super League and really kind of rose to prominence. So a very good addition as far as CDEC are concerned, and that's something which can really help this team potentially shine, because they've been really, I would say, pretty solid. They were definitely kind of a breakout team since TI4, and definitely a team to look out for. So we'll see how they fare here, and it's going to be interesting, I feel. We'll have CDEC Gaming playing over on the Radiant side, LGD on the Dire side. I'll be just solo casting this game 1, guys, for those of you wondering. Blitz was planned to join me, but I believe he's been catching up on some last-minute rest because he's got a big day of matches today. So I told him, look, dude, if you've got to rest, you got to do your thing there so you can play as well as you can in your later matches, then go for it. But he may be joining me for Game 2, Game 3. We'll see. We'll see. Let Dakota Cuddle Guy know if he wants to come and give me some chakra up in the upstairs studio to help me out with my casting. He's more than welcome to, since he's still awake. But for now, just myself for this Game 1. We've got LGD Gaming well into this draft, and the big hero which has been picked up for me, which we're not seeing all too much of, apart from a certain Evil Geniuses team, is the Lycan. First picked by LGD with the Tidehunter. CDEC, on the other hand, have gone for a much more aggressive kind of ganking style of lineup with the Scareth Mage and Slark as their 2 picks. LGD then went for the Ogre Magi and Visage. So they're on a lot of strong nuking with the Visage and Ogre Magi. And I like the Visage with the Familiars because this hero matches up pretty well against the Slark. Even when he goes into that Shadow Dance, you can still stun him and keep him in place with the Familiar stuns. Use those fairly defensively. You've got Tide Ravage to use defensively, so not going to be the easiest game for Slark to get too aggressive, especially with all the burst damage. You get stunned up by a Fire Blast, Soul Assumption, he'll get taken out of these fights very quickly, and that's where he needs to kind of have some kind of backup, and that comes in the form of the Earthshaker so far. We've got the Fissure as one means of counter initiation, and whoa, that's a spicy little pick. CDEC pull out a Troll Warlord. Normally this hero goes mid, and I gotta say this is probably going to be the case here with the Slark going safe lane, Troll mid. I'm wondering what their plan is with this hero. Not a hero we see all too much of. It gets pulled out here or there. I think it was Cloud9 who were experimenting with it a bit. I need to pull out some Cuddle Guy warm-up exercises here with my mumbling of words. God, bad start, guys, bad start. But Troll Warlord is, yeah, he does offer some reliable physical damage to actually bring down like a BKB Lycan or something like that. A good early mech buyer potentially, as Fata used to play this hero a lot, and he's kind of the Cloud9 mid player who's been showing off with the Troll Warlord a bit. But as far as what this hero offers, really strong laning, great last hitting, and then the Battle Trance. It's generally played around this ultimate. Good for pushing towers, and good for just dishing out good amounts of physical damage, which so far is only really the Slark, which makes me wonder what this last pick of theirs might be. The other place where you could see Troll Warlord is some kind of maybe an offensive tri-lane. Put him with an Earthshaker Scarith Mage, or even just a dual lane in the off lane. This hero is very tanky, has good base armor, has good movement speed when you go into that melee form, and can actually dish out decent damage with the range slow combined with the melee nuke as well. So we'll see what the plan is going to be. I imagine it will be a mid-troll Warlord, however, so we'll see him possibly match up against the Lycan mid, or maybe LGD decide Lycan's not going to match up too well against Troll. Let's send Lycan safe lane and pick up a mid-hero last, as they have got one more pick coming their way. Dragon Knight gets banned, so CDEC may be somewhat expecting some kind of a mid-hero to be picked up in that slot as we get things underway here. So what's it going to be with this last pick for LGD? They've still got most of their reserve time coming out here, and it's going to be a Doombringer. Ooh. This puts Tide in the mid lane most likely. I don't think Doom is not really the best mid laner as far as last hitting and just matching up against the Troll, so I think it's going to be the Tide with the Anchor Smash who's going to be matching up against the Troll. So LGD decide to mix things up based on seeing that Troll and decide having a Doom against the Slark is a great addition, and I've got to agree with them. This is a nice tanky hero who can prevent Slark from doing his thing, and if you go that BKB build, which the Chinese Dooms generally tend to kind of lean towards, it definitely is a hero which can not have to worry too much about the Skywrath nukes, the Earthshaker fissures, and can just really get a lot of damage done in these fights. And CDEC last pick, Darkseer. This is a draft with heroes we don't often see. We've got the Darkseer coming out, the Troll Warlord. CDEC really somewhat experimental, I want to say, but obviously a very important match here. This is the semi-finals of the winner bracket for, well, what is currently, I believe, a $280,000 land finals here in LA. So there's a lot of money up for grabs here, and one of these 4 teams left in the Chinese division will get their chance to compete for it. So we'll see how CDEC get things started. It is a best-of-3 affair here, as we'll see what the 2 teams have in store, and we'll introduce our Radiant team to get things going. It is the CDEC squad. We've got Maybe playing the Troll Warlord, the mid player for this team. Pullman Shield first starting for him. A pretty standard opening for these mid-agi heroes. You see this on like your Phantom Assassin, your Faceless Void, and here on the Troll Warlord as well. We've got 333 playing the offlane Darkseer. We've got Slark in the hands of their carry player. We've got Garda playing the Earthshaker, and then finally it's going to be Q playing the Skywrath Mage. Over on the Dire side, it's the LGD squad. A lot of big names on this team. Starting with one of the lesser-known players, it is going to be In July on the offlane Doombringer. We've got Yao playing this solo mid Tide Hunter. Will be Faith, the former IG captain, playing the Ogre Magi. Boots first for him, and we're going to see MMY, Mama Ya, playing the Visage up top, supporting Sylar on the Lycan. They're just doing some early protection of their jungle here. They don't want to see any wards coming in to block the pull, and Visage, one of those supports who definitely wants a lot of levels and even a decent amount of farm. I don't think this is a good support to be picking if you're not planning on allocating at least some deal of farm towards it. Problem is Ogre also wants some farm, but I'd say Ogre much less farm dependent compared to the Visage. So I think more likely we see Visage actually trying to do a lot of pulls here, get an early-ish level 6, and Faith, he can roam. He's got boots first, so it starts off with the Visage, maybe spending more money. Visage actually bought the Observers, Sentries, and Courier, it looks like. Yeah, Ogre with his starting items did not buy anything, so I kind of wonder what the plan is as far as whether they're going to keep this allocation and play Visage as the main support, or if that's going to change. Ogre maybe just all he needs is boots, can roam around, and be pretty effective and annoying in some of these lanes. And I think maybe we'll see just Ogre start picking up the slack as far as support items go from here on out. So Mama Ya will just poke his head out. This is something often maybe goes unnoticed here, but one of the things here, offlane is always generally try and block the creep wave to get the range creep out in front, so the range support for the safe lane will normally just go there, tank a few right clicks from the range creep just to make sure the equilibrium doesn't get messed up from that. But top lane, 333 has gone Iron Shell, and that means he does not have Surge yet, so we'll start things off. Soul Assumption has been leveled up. The body block's not the best. One Soul Assumption, 1 or 2 more right clicks, and they get First Blood. Invis rune on Faith, the perfect rune for that gank execution, and as soon as they see that Iron Shell, they know they've got that kill, and that's a tough one for Darkseer. That's kind of where Darkseer's kind of struggled as of late, well, I mean, for the last year or so, is that level 1, you've kind of got to go Iron Shell. Like, I don't blame him not going Surge. I think if you go Surge, you lose the lane even worse, but problem is now, how's he going to get XP? The lane is pushed really far up because of that Iron Shell, and pushing out lanes is really like the death of your offlane. You want to keep that creep wave as close to your tower as possible, and that's exactly what Darkseer does not do with the Iron Shell. So if you don't get fast level 2, level 3 in the first creep wave or 2, you struggle. And that's where Darkseer says, screw it, I'm going to the jungle. You'll find a Centaur camp, which isn't the best, so he'll have to take a bit of damage here, but he can still farm this and do an alright job here. Didn't want to do with the Hellbears. Let's look offlane for the Dire side, and that's a Doom. A bit more of a standard offlaner, but he's been zoned out completely. He has managed to get a Devourer onto a Centaur, which is a nice little pickup as far as getting a okay defensive spell in the War Stomp. Also getting a bit of XP and farm, but beyond that he has not gotten any XP from the actual creep wave itself. So we're going to see both offlaners having a rough time. Darkseer, well, rightfully so, just back in the jungle, not wanting to deal with this. But this also means Lycan can push up the lane. You see that offlaner missing, and then you just go for this more aggressive pushing style of play in the lane, which can be which is where he's going to get the benefit of this Bassi ring, which he is actually leaving on for the time being. Taking a peek at mid lane, haven't really seen much of the Tide versus Troll or talked about this. Does force Troll to go range form a lot more, so he doesn't get hit by the Anchor Smash, and look at this, 3-3-3, back top, okay. So you push out the lane a bit, Darkseer says, alright, I can deal with that, I'll get some XP, get some farm, and he has got level 2 now, so he's got the double Iron Shell and we'll be able to hit at least, well, no, he's gonna stay back. Actually a bit worried, because these supports constantly missing here. As In July has fallen back to the jungle as well as the Dire offlaner, so pretty defensive stuff as far as offlane is concerned, and even the supports playing more greedy farm-based with MMY, doing stacks, doing pulls. Earthshaker's been stacking and pulling over here as well. Well, he's been doing the stacking while Skywrath has been doing the pulls, so we'll see a double pull attempted, and it should be successful. So, decent farm will come out for some of these supports. And this is just kind of your safe standard opening. Both teams just trying to get in their rhythm as far as the farming goes, getting their support, their safe lane farmers, the guaranteed free farm, getting their supports some decent farm as well. So they even get some good farming rhythm themselves, just making their way from camp to camp, getting these double pulls while one support goes for the double pulls, the other support goes for the stacks in the camps. And even stacks for LGD, so Doom not really the best hero to farm that unless you go that Tornado build, but it's just such a kind of gimmicky thing to do as a Doom. For one thing, you don't even have the 200 mana, which the Tornado costs until you hit level 3, so not the easiest thing to do as a Doom. We'll see pressure being applied top lane, and this is going to be the first forced rotation really, as CDEC bring their Earthshaker up top. There's a 4-minute rune coming soon. We'll see this Lycan will just kind of draw the aggro away, and this means extra damage is being applied. Nothing to Iron Shell except either himself or an enemy creep, which isn't really ideal. So he will just pop the Iron Shell on himself and draw some of that creep aggro his way, as the top tier 1 tower taking a bit of damage here. Tier 1 tower's not as important as they used to be as far as getting some early game gold and snowball going with the reduced gold as well as the glitch refreshing. So mid lane maybe, and Yao just juking it out a bit here, maybe. Minus 44 damage, I don't think you're coming out on top of that one. As he toggles from range to melee form, and now we'll hit him with another Anchor Smash here. The turnaround is there, as he does have a bottle charge left, and it's a rotate. Actually, it's LGD's Faith and In July looking to kind of swing their way in there. Faith with the Tranquil Boots and an Alpha Wolf threat. And what's happening bottom lane? No real pressure, no damage at all onto this tier 1 tower, so until now, CDEC responding to the aggression up top, but with some aggression of their own towards bottom, but they're much kind of slower to the punchline. We'll see 0-1 scoreline, and In July is got his Tranquil Boots, can just use that second point of Scorched Earth to tank himself up if he does get engaged on them. Still, there's a lot of killing potential with this Skywrath plus Slark combo. So, since that first spot at top on Darkseer, not too much happening. As looked like maybe, an attempted kill mid lane. Ravage was used here, maybe. We'll get away with the help of the defensive Earthshaker Fissure, so there goes your first Ravage. I think LGD thought they could get a kill, but probably didn't know about the Earthshaker sitting behind the Troll. And Earthshaker saw him hit level 6 and probably just knew that the Tide was going to look for that Ravage opening for a quick solo kill, or I guess a kill with the help of the one support in the Ogre Magi. But tower goes down top lane. Sylar, he strikes first as far as getting himself a good chunk of gold and some extra map control going the way of this LGD team, and we'll see him even start getting to work on this the second tower to some extent. More just looking to just keep farming here. Doesn't have his jungle to fall back to. That's where the Visage is right now. Visage level 4, level 5, and LGD not really forcing the issue too much. They're being very efficient with like where their heroes are. You can see on the map here, all 5 heroes very spread apart, but at the same time spread apart where they're all on their same side of the map. So it's not like there's like 2 heroes bottom lane as well and just completely spread across the map, but they're spread across in a way such that they're near enough to each other. Should a gank happen, they can rotate quickly and help one another out. And when these runes spawns, that's when they group up. Every 2 minutes, like, your teams are just really trying to focus on this rune control now with the double runes, and how much like mid heroes can benefit from getting the runes more so than they used to, since you know you can preemptively go to one of these lanes together. Yao's found himself a big stack here. Hasn't been stacking Ancients, just the big neutral camp. Really, this is just a game of like everyone getting good farm. Like this, all the core heroes are getting farm. The supports as well getting good farm. You see Earthshaker not so much, but as far as like Visage, 12 CS, you got 7 CS on your Ogre Scarith. I mean, it's not big numbers, but it's farm nonetheless. For 7 minutes in, like supports having this much CS is pretty big. It does kind of reflect the playstyle both teams are adapting to, which is this kind of defensive, neutral stacking farming playstyle, which was quite popular and prevalent in like the 6.81 meta, but still very effective in 6.82 if you want to go that direction. For LGD, I think they're slightly happy with this tempo. They've got the kind of more potent mid-game with the Tide Ravage, the Doom for the control, and just the raw pushing power of a Vlad's Lycan. With, you've got Visage Familiars to control the fights as well as push as well. So for CDEC, I kind of wonder where this lineup comes together. Like, the Troll is a nice little addition. I'll have to see if he goes for that mech build, which was initially popular. It does have a lot of mana problems. 225 mana cost for mech. Your mana pool's 260. You would have to have something like a Drums or at least a Magic Wand to kind of make up for that mana. I'm not sure if that's something which he really wants to do. Go for the mech, that is. Slark at bottom lane. Treads up already. I think the timing's going to come when like Slark has his Blink Dagger as his first item, probably. I don't think you want to go for a Midas here. There's just so much strong mid-game from LGD that going for a Midas is just going to be too high risk. He picks up the wand, maybe goes for something like a Drums first as well if he wants more stats and just mid-game presence. But as things stand, it seems both teams is happy to keep things going at this pace. Visage takes over the top lane because Lycan does have Lad's level 7, so Lycan's jungle efficiency is much better than the other LGD heroes as far as jungling goes. Tide does have the Anchor Smash, so he can jungle without taking much damage, but he's not killing neutrals as fast as a Lycan is. And that's where Lycan falls back to the jungle. MMY takes top, and MMY has 1400 gold, so he's got point booster money already, and we'll see a medallion picked up. So look towards LGD going for a fast Roshan. Sometimes, I'd say more often than not you maybe see Visage get it, but Lycan deciding he can make them the investment towards it. Let Visage either go straight for the Ag Scepter or the Rod of Atos. AUI 2000's actually been focusing more on that Atos first, as opposed to going for the straight Aghanim Scepter. But this smoke, I think it's just a Roshan smoke, to be honest. I don't think they're going for kills. CDEC smoke up themselves, and oh, they're pinging the Ancients. They're going to run right into this LGD team, and LGD do have Ravage. Faith gets Visage to start things off. I think this is okay. Ogre's pretty tanky here. They're going to have to use a lot to actually kill him off. Tide ready. Has an Invis room. Ravage will catch out all three. And this is going to be a disaster for the CDEC squad. They'll bring down one thanks to the Slark coming in. He's going to Shadow Dance and try and make his way out of there. And what's the plan here? Could actually come out on top. This Lycan, the Iron Shell damage doing a lot onto him. It's just the Ogre being lost, and Lycan will scurry back to base. So no Roshan for LGD, but it's still a 2-for-1 trade for them. A 600-ish gold swing going their way. Getting the big kill on the Troll Warlord especially, so. CDEC thinking maybe that Lycan was just in their solo, or that they could try to find a pick-off with their smoke, but they ran into the entire LGD team who were prepared for that. And even if LGD, their plan was to go for Roshan, they'll be perfectly happy with that 2-for-1 trade, and they can easily just get Roshan at some later time if they want to. CDEC will follow this up with a tier 1 tower, it looks like. Wolf and Familiar's maybe going to look for a deny. Lycan Wolf secures that one as the Familiar will also not even get killed off. Troll Warlord, meanwhile, did get a kill mid lane. That's your Tide being brought down. Not entirely sure what happened there, but it looks like a Skywrath Mage helped him out, and Tide just not having that defensive Ravage. He gets somewhat punished. In July at mid, 1800 gold. Often you see the Midas into Blink Dagger, but this is just maybe a straight Blink Dagger. They've got so many heroes who are trying to get farm with Visage. Even Ogre wants some farm, that maybe Doom's just thinking, let's go straight for the Blink so I can actually have some more early game impact and presence. Lycan will farm the Ancient stack, and he's going to hit level 9 maybe off of this. And despite LGD having the more kind of push-oriented lineup with the Lycan, the Visage and all that, it's actually CDEC using this Troll and just kind of more 5-manning a lot more than their opponents are. They haven't even got the mech yet on the Darks here, but still feeling like they can bring down these tier 1 towers. They brought down bottom. They're getting to work on this mid. Just down to about 350 HP. Maybe just keeps on poking around. And Familiar will be brought down. Bit of miss micro there coming out from MMY. He will instantly resummon. He's got the point booster, so will be the Ag Scepter. Sylar at bottom. What's he? I think he had some gold. Okay, he just got some tread. So that's it. I saw him with like 1k gold, and I was like, what's he for here? What's he thinking about? But hasn't committed to a Necro Book BKB or anything of the sort just yet. It's an alright BKB game. As we see Troll getting this tower as low as possible without getting it into deny range. And the tower getting denied wouldn't be the worst thing. Ideally you want the last hit, but even just denying this kind of focal point near the mid lane. So much action happens around here, so if LGD are having heroes respawning that can instantly TP back into a fight near the mid lane, it's a very useful thing to have, especially if they're trying to go for like a tier 1 push of their own towards mid. So just bringing down this mid tower does give you a lot of strategic advantage. Roshan. Throw the Howl and Scarith is poking around nearby. A lot of CDEC heroes thinking that maybe they can contest this one, but Roshan's dropping and dropping fast. This is time with the Ravage coming back up. Last time this fight around here, Ravage was the victor, and Lincoln coming in from the Slark. This is so risky. Look at the damage output coming into play. Sylar will pop the ultimate now. He just ignores Roshan, looking to maybe take this fight. The bash from Roshan doing some work as well, and on the high ground, it's maybe has the wall to support him there, but he's going to be brought down in the end. 1-1 trade so far. Doom got brought down without even casting that ultimate. But back into the Roshan pit, LGD go, and I don't think you want to contest this if you're CDEC. No wall, no way of dealing with the Ravage. Oh man, Garda may have just been caught out a bit too aggressive. We'll throw a fissure, but actually gets surged out of there. Garda, Soul Assumption. Oh no. Thought maybe they could just try and disrupt Roshan with a fissure and hope for some Roshan bashes or something, just lucky of that nature, but realistically CDEC just didn't have a chance to fight into the Ravage at the Roshan pit. They just don't have that same high impact ultimate, not yet. Maybe once Darkseid gets the max vacuum and maybe 2 points in the wall of replica, then you can look towards that, but right now it's just not really enough for them. You see drums picked up for maybe, and it's a T1 tower which can't really be prevented from going down. Ravage still available, you can be so careful. The mech comes into play from Yao, that heals up the LGD side, and with a Doom on maybe, he should take a fall here. Yao's a bit low on mana, but just enough for the Ravage. Maybe as well as 3-3-3, both caught in that one. The Gush will make sure that there's no deny onto the Troll. Two big ultimates though used just for a Troll kill. Ravage as well as Doom, so I think CDEC will just back off and be ready to reset and maybe take a fight while those two are on cooldown. Sure, there's an Aegis on Lycan, but as far as Lycan's items go, he's not got too much right now. Just the Vlads. He's not the target you'd want to gank though if you take a fight. You want to try and bring down the Doom again. Heroes like Visage even, who's so close to an Aghanim Scepter. Oh man. This Ag Scepter on Visage is going to be ridiculously fast. He's farming supports. Like 4k net worth on a support hero at this stage, 3k on the Ogre. Sure, he's had some help from Roshan as well as the Tower Gold, but that's still a pretty big deal. Bottom lane, in July's picked up a point booster of his own. He wants that Aghanim Scepter. Being able to just get rid of passives now with that Aghanim Scepter. So it made it just such a more crucial and core item for Doombringer. Troll at the mid lane has finished off his drums, so see what he has in mind. I think a drums BKB is probably your best bet. Just having the BKB to deal with Visage, Ogre, and Tide. Being able to hopefully dodge a Ravage and dodge some nukes coming out from those two supports. Pressure continues. LGD now at the bottom lane with numbers, and it was a Midas for the Doom, so not just the point booster picked up. No sights of a Blink Dagger, probably deciding that I guess Yao's going to go Blink, but even he still hasn't got it. Goes to the side shop here and picks up a TP scroll, and Yao getting ganked down. That's Anchor Smash, so that's really all he's got here. Luckily for him, Invis Rune. Oh! He mechs and bottles up, actually reveals himself from Invis. The Familiar's helping save his life there as well, and CDEC do not get the kills at, well, do not get the single kill at top lane. They make it a tier 1 tower for this, but they're losing tier 1 bottom and possibly a tier 2 as well. And this tower gold is global gold. These supports are just going to keep getting richer and richer. Arcane Zone on your Ogre. Visage, this is his Ag Scepter after this tower goes down. They're trying to take a fight off of this, but I guess realizing that Tide is unlikely bottom lane. They knew he was at top lane previously. Sylar's the first target, but he's got the Aegis. This is actually not too bad. He'll save the ultimate for the respawn. Doom goes out onto maybe. Soul Assumption goes flying in as well. That's 3-3-3. A bit mana starved here as well, the Darkseer, so can't really use that Vacuum Wall combo. Meanwhile on the sidelines, it's Faith being ganked out, turns around, Fire Blast. There's your multicast with a Fissure to follow it up, but Faith's still alive. One more Arcane Bolt going to go flying through as the chase is on. That's your Lycan. The big bad wolf looking for some pickoffs, but he's not going to get anything off of it. It's just going to be a retreat for LGD. They do dispose of their Aegis, which didn't have too much longer on it, but about another minute and a bit, so that's not the biggest loss, but for CDEC, it's a good hold of the tier 2 tower bottom, and a single kill. It did cost them all 5 heroes to kind of come down there and make that happen, but nonetheless, it's a small little victory for them. Here goes Slark. He's on the move. Looking for MMY. Not a kill he can get as a solo artist, though. He's going to need some backup. Doom still working on his Aghanim Scepter. You're getting beat to an Ag Scepter as a Doom by Visage. I mean, Doom went to be... Doom's one of those heroes who... I guess he is number 2 on net worth right now, but you give him enough time with Devour Gold and Midas, he will get that top net worth spot. Solo pickoffs continue. There's Troll Warlord. We'll snag that one, and this could transition to a tier 1 tower, so... Definitely a nice pickup as the rest of LGD still continuing to get their farm on. Yao actually bought some Arcane Boots, so this... Like, having no Blink Initiators for LGD is a bit unusual. You've got 2 good Blink Initiators in Doom as well as Tidehunter. Tide especially. Doom, you can Blink Doom, but unless you have something like a War Stomp, you're not offering any actual lockdown to your team. In July, he's ready to make another go at this tier 2 tower. This time they've got the Tide. That's kind of what they were missing last time they tried to do this. Tide was kind of busy getting ganked at top lane, did escape, but it meant that he just couldn't push this bottom tier 2 tower with his team. So even with no Aegis, LGD, well, that was just a bit too easy. Walk in, take tower, walk away. TP top and they'll defend the push from maybe. He wasn't really thinking he'd get this tier 2 tower, but just forces those TPs up there. Well, at the same time, LGD only TP a couple of heroes. They'll leave Lycan in the enemy jungle, so he's been really efficient in his farming. Fate will find an Invis rune, and there's no detection for this, so very pesky rune for Ogre to have found there. Can you go for this multicast stun? No, doesn't look like it. Everyone on LGD, whenever I look, someone's farming these Ancients. They've got great value off the map. These Ancients have been killed a good, like, 10 or so times, it feels like. If you include, like, each stack as an extra kill. Oh, Slark, you've got to be so careful here. He probably knows he's being tracked in a second here by this Invis Ogre. Yeah, he's pinged here saying, look, I'm not in my Shadow Dance as fast as I should have been. Either there's a ward there or something else fishy's going on. And it's an Invis Ogre. He now shows up in the mid lane, and they want this tier 2 tower, so it's LGD. The 5-man power just continues. Tide going for this fast mech as opposed to the Blink Dagger does give them that strong 5-man they need. There will be a vacuum wall, but it doesn't really do too much here. Silas, the one hero getting low here. The Doom used on a Darkseid, it didn't even have any spells left. Darkseid will get taken out as well as the Slark, and we'll see LGD using that Ravage to great effect. Not to mention the mech first on the Tide. Having this mech is really paid off for them. They'll bring down the tier 2 tower, and that's with CDEC engaging and throwing down all their ultimates. Are they even going to try bridge high ground? They're healing up the Lycan, the Urn charges from the Ogre Magi, which he's picked up. Meaning that they can sustain this push. Silas going to be full HP after this second Urn. Fisher's going to delay them, but tier 3 tower in jeopardy here. Big damage on a Maybe who's picked up an Ogre Club, but still does not have that BKB. The Visage Familiars working on the tier 3 tower with the help of the Howl means they've got this more sustainable damage, and Kronk dies. The ignite damage from afar, and they're going to Soul Assumption down the Scarith Mage as well. This is looking like it's all over. 20 minutes in, and LGD are getting racks. Nothing CDEC can do about this one. They had an interesting different draft. They looked to walk in guard, and there's your Echo Time. He dunks them from close range, and it's still no one dead. Tied with the mech once more, and keeping everyone sustained here. Doom and Ogre do finally get picked off to round off this fight, and it looks like they want more. They want to chase. Silo's going to be the 3rd casualty on the LGD side. They have overstayed their welcome. A TP out from the Visage will save his life, and Raxes are held, but very heavy costs for CDEC. The end game gold, the end team fight gold change very much in CDEC's favor, but everything that happened before that, it was kills going LGD's way, Raxes almost going LGD's way. Split the damage a bit between the 2 racks, but even just getting a tier 3 tower this early on gives them so much control over this game. They can look to take Roshan fairly soon and completely shut CDEC out as far as finding farm and forcing them to just sit high ground as 5 and just wait for LGD to come at them. And LGD, if they want, can just look to out-farm their opponents. Use both jungles, use the fact that they can get complete map control, maybe pick up something like a gem, and MMY, this is cheeky. He's picked up a Midas after the Ag Scepter. This is just like, hey, look, if they're going to turtle and sit high ground, well, guess what? We're going to have at least some late game to match up to that. MMY with a Midas helps him get those level 2 familiars, which, these are level 1 familiars, so you should see a resummon right away, but maybe not quite catching on to the fact that he should be getting those level 2 familiars up. There we go. Resummons, and it's good to go. Top lane. Maybe the hero they want, and he's going to go for a actually BKB TP because of the Doom. He gets doomed up, and well, problem is this is an Ag's Doom, so they can just chase him down. This Doom is going to have a long, long duration. And by long, I mean it ain't going anywhere. Not until you're dead. Ignite will slow him down, and maybe he's maybe dead. What's the plan for mid lane? MMY. Been a bit of a tough spot here, actually. LGD, they scout the Slark, and with Slark there on the high ground, MMY should know that something fishy's up, but he still goes in, and Familiars, the stuns were on cooldown and weren't really there to help him out, as Faith now going to look for a counter gank here. Oh, this Slark multicast could end his fun, and there's an Ignite as well. The damage not going to be enough with Shadow Dance helping heal him up. And the Magic Wand chases on Blink, Ravage available in 3 seconds, but not going to see it get used, as it looks like Earthshaker found an Invis rune, and with a Necro 3, he's got the detection, right click, right click, right click. Earthshaker goes down and into the Roshan pit. The Necro 3's been getting double use there for the kill as well as for the Roshan. CDEC is just running out of options. I think this next push down the mid lane, very likely to get these racks. For CDEC, they haven't really got some way of forcing TPs back. Slark not really a natural born split pusher. Troll Warlord, similar thing. Like, these heroes can go to these sidelines and try and push things out, but they're not going to find that much pressure onto actual buildings. Slark at top lane, he's here, but realistically he's got to TP back before he even gets his tier 2 tower, if CDEC want to stand a chance to protect their racks. Which I'm just not sure we're going to see happen. I'm not sure what CDEC can do here. They haven't got Blink on the Earthshaker. Have got a Blink on the Darkseer. Went for that before the BKB. And yeah, Slark can just TP himself out of there. I think also a bit scared that maybe Doom had TP'd up there, because Doom can just easy solo kill him. You have that accept, if you Doom him, oh, it's all over. So see LGD now familiars with how force out a glyph, and they can't even really get any kills on these familiars. They can just go right back in. The Lycan Wolves will seal the deal with the range racks, and they're not even like putting any heroes in jeopardy here. Sylar even has an Aegis, but he's like, nah, I can just sit back. The familiars do the job. They lose their damage, they drop down, and they'll be just popping right back up with some more damage. And Sylar should maybe just get in there. He's got Necro 3, he's got Aegis, man. This is your time, Sylar. You gotta fight. Or at least try and secure this Rax here. This melee Rax does heal if you don't bring it down in one fell swoop. Get it down to close to half HP, and LGD's still very reluctant to put any heroes onto this Rax. Safety first has always been the LGD motto. Still remember LD joking they should get a condom sponsor, because that is these guys will make sure that they secure the win in the most reliable / safe ways possible. Sometimes almost they're too safe. And there we go. It's pure summons bringing down the melee racks. Sylar with an Aegis doesn't even put his head onto the high ground. That's just crazy to me. But this time he will. He's like, okay, this is gonna be a bit harder. Nope. All right, I'll do a little bit of damage. I'm gonna back off. There's a reason Sylar has like one of the least deaths per game of like any carry player out there. This guy is just ultra conservative, but an amazing farmer, and just has great decision making as far as general games go. Always errs on the side of being too cautious though. See an engagement. I think CDEC realizing they've got to just do something. They've got to Doom though onto the Slark. Ravage clips him as well. He's got it into the buyback, and that's why he went in first. He had the buyback there, looking to try and use this now that they know there is no Doom available. And LGD just say, well, we can just back off. We don't have Doom, and if they want to buy back and try and take a fight, make them come to us. Ravage on cooldown as well, and just be Sylar once again in the front line to really leap in, and Slark can't pounce onto that. Doom getting, well, put up by a fissure as well as an Ancient. Seeing quite a bit of damage here. A Pounce Dark Pack could maybe bring him down, but I don't think it's working. Slark forced back, and that's 2 dead. They're actually going to chase even further. They want this Slark. He's running out of options. 1 more Pounce. Blink could chase him soon. Tide, no, it's on cooldown, so he'll TP himself home, but it's the bottom racks is going down, and CDEC GG out. Game 1 going to go the way of LGD Gaming in convincing fashion. 26 minutes in. Everyone just getting so much fun. Almost 10k net worth on the Visage at the end of that game. Oh boy. LGD just come out fighting and flying here. They're really looking good in the Summer 2 China playoffs, guys. So that does it for Game 1. This is a best of 3 affair in the winner bracket semifinals between CDEC and LGD Gaming. We've got Vici Gaming and Newbie going to be facing off later today, guys. So stick around. A lot of great action coming to you guys from the Summit 2 by G2A.com China. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit. You can follow me on Twitter at BTSGods, but stick around. Game 2 coming your way soon.
You got spare game codes or any digital goods? There is a place you can sell them in less than 1 minute. Watch. Go to G2A.com. Click Start Selling. Fast login. Go to My Account and click on Selling tab. Sell new item. Enter name, code, set a price. And done. G2A.com Digital Marketplace. Global selling simplified.
Well, guess I will take my 4s. Inside out, upside down, inside out, inside out. Inside out,
inside,